Tomorrow will mark 1 year since the deadliest mass shooting in U.S. history. The city of Orlando will stop to remember the 49 people who were killed at the Pulse nightclub. CBS 4's Kerry Codd spoke to the parents of one of the victims, and he joins us now live from Orlando. Kerry.
Rutabe, in just a few hours, first thing tomorrow morning will mark the exact moment when a killer walked into the Pulse nightclub here in Orlando and shattered so many lives. Maria and Fred Wright of Miami are two of those people. Their son Jerry died here, but his legacy lives on in his parents' effort to prevent another tragedy like this one. After their son Jerry died at the Pulse nightclub last June, Fred and Maria Wright became advocates for common sense gun legislation.
When hate gets a gun, what follows is death. And we need to find a way to keep hate from getting a gun.
The Miami couple wants gun laws that keep weapons from people who preach hate or have evil intentions. And they still wonder how Omar Mateen, a man investigated by the FBI, could get high-powered weapons to take the lives of 49 people.
How can it be that a terrorist, a guy that had been in the FBI list twice, can easily go into a store, pass a background check because he passed a background check?
And what followed was one of the worst mass shootings in U.S. history. The Wrights still cannot bring themselves to go to the memorial at the Pulse nightclub. It's too painful, they say. The couple keeps their son's spirit alive through their memories and tiny things like these beads and bracelets. They, along with their children and family members, painted this picture of Jerry. Jerry's sister painted this portrait that will be displayed at a memorial.
They're a part of you. I poured myself into my children, and he's been, it's like a part of me is no longer here. We don't want anyone else to go through this. This has been the hardest year of our lives. There have been moments when I thought I was not going to be able to do it.
The couple got through it together and with the support of their family, including a new grandchild named in Jerry's honor. The couple does want answers about the unfolding of events in the nightclub that night and whether quicker action by police could have saved lives, but they're not pointing fingers.
100% that we need to get to the bottom and find out exactly what happened for everybody's peace of mind. But we've decided not to blame the people who were just simply trying to help our kids.
The Wrights want to make sure that Jerry didn't die in vain. They hope his death and the deaths of the other victims create change that will make others safer.
I would like to ask everyone how they would feel if their precious child was mowed down in the circumstances mine was, and it seemed no one gave a damn.
In just a few hours, there will be a private event here at the Pulse nightclub right around the time of the shooting from the last year. Now, eventually, a permanent memorial is expected to be put up here. There's still discussion over whether this building will be torn down or allowed to remain and be made part of that memorial. The Wrights say whatever memorial is eventually put up, they would like to see a section that addresses the hate that precipitated this violence, this shooting, and how to combat it. Live in Orlando, Kerry Codd, CBS 4 News Tonight.